I suffer from attention deficit disorder.
Me too.
So, I have to be doing something, and so sit there in a classroom and to have people just talking to me every day and just
I couldn't stay still.
we couldn't focus. Man,
Call my parents.
oh man,
Thought something was wrong with me.
and let's talk about that. So in high school, most people would consider you as a failure if you had no direction outside of college. But in all actuality, that's not the truth. I remember they was like, oh, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to have a plan. And you do have to have a plan to a certain degree, but you also have to trial and error certain things. And so,
Better do it while you're young.
because how many things that you got into before you actually started your business?
A lot.
A lot, huh?
Stocks, Forex, Amazon, secret shopper.
He was secret shopping. That dude was secret shopping.
I did it all. Flipping cell phones.
So matter of fact, we did that
I used to
together.
steal a whole lot.
Yeah, we used to
Steal stuff and sell it.
Remember we had them tires. Remember we selling them tires at a point in time, man.
I used to do it all, but
man, we did. You've done a lot of different things.
you fail until you find what you're good at. But I always knew I wanted to do real estate since I was like 12, 13.
And to be honest with you, I never thought I would do insurance. To be honest with you, I think I became really good at it.
So welcome to the video. Today we have Mr. Matt Size here. Introduce yourself.
My name is Matthew Size. I am the owner of MSJ Insurance, and I'm also the co-founder of the Millennial Networking Group, alongside with my buddy O'Neal Parker.
So we're just having a conversation, wanted to bring it to YouTube, and then we have Instagram Live right here. So what we was talking about exactly was, there's many ways to be successful. When we was younger, a lot of people just forcing us to go to college, talk about college and stuff like that. We both went to college. I was at the University of Louisiana Lafayette playing football, broke my leg. That was the end of college for me. I didn't want to go no more, I was ready to make some money. Transferred all my credits to community college, and I just got a degree that way. So let's just say something about yourself.
All right, so we talking about traditional routes. So I started off at Southern. Was gonna go to school for music, All-American trumpet player. Turned out that's not what I really wanted to do because I was in love with money. But then I was like, well, everybody said we got to go to college to make money. So I was like, well, I ended up getting caught in a position where I ended up having to transfer and go to LSUE. I was at LSUE for a little while, and then I just realized, man, I didn't think that I needed college to be successful. So I got into the insurance world. But we were talking about it, and we trying to make sure that y'all kind of understand what we're saying is that, man, the traditional route is not always the best route.
Not for everybody.
Not for everybody. I know that when I was in school, I really was not paying attention to certain.
I was about to. How you felt when you was actually in school, in class?
Man, when I was in class every day, I'll be honest with you, I was not focused.
Didn't want to be there.
Didn't want to be there. I mean,
What you
okay.
think about school?
I ain't gonna lie. So statistics, I like the statistics because I like the numbers a little bit. And then when it came to like Excel, PowerPoint, just different things like that, I was in there with like when it came to stuff that I would be using. So I understood that certain things that were hands-on and things that I couldn't have used in life, I was like, man, I took a speech class and I loved it because I love to talk. And so
communication.
Yeah, I forgot what it was called. Public speaking something. And so I took a class, public speaking, and I thought that was cool. But, all the other classes, man, it was like, man, English. And I mean, I just thought it was boring. So I understood that I felt like I didn't really need school per se, college, the traditional route. So,
Did you regret it? You think?
Yeah, honestly, I'm not saying I regret it. But if I would have entered my industry that I'm in, and everything's a trial based, so don't get me wrong, you have to go through certain things to kind of figure out where you're going and where you're headed at in life. So, I mean, I think that all of that, I learned some valuable life lessons because financially I had to learn how to work and go to school at the same time, multitask and understanding scheduling and making appointments. So, I've learned life lessons. But when it comes to actually education, I think I am a self-taught person. Everything that I'm doing right now or everything that I've learned, I can say I picked up through YouTube, through, resources like Mr. Jason Bruno, Miss Brandy Landry, Kendrick, Martin, Vernon Duncan. I'm throwing shout outs out there.
So it's more from networking.
Yeah, from networking and just kind of, I met a guy named Chris Conti. He's out of Baton Rouge. He has an insurance agency. I met a guy, Gilbert Doc Thomas in New Iberia. And so I was able to learn about what I was doing actually in my field. And so I felt like I'm still $7,000 in debt from school. So I'm in debt, and I ended up, not doing anything that I went to school for.
So I was going to ask you. So anything that you took classes for, did any of that help you towards your career that you have now?
20 to 80%. So 20% of the stuff I learned, and I'm talking about like I would take electives to kind of, because some things were interesting to me. So like electives like public speaking, like I was talking about, right now people say I can articulate and I can handle myself in conversation. That's because I took that class.
Right.
So, but also I can tell you this, I serve tables too, and I learned that same lesson by waiting tables. So
which one helped more?
I think serving tables help more than actual because public speaking was only like once a week for an hour and a half. So because it was elective. So I understood that talking to people and making personal relationships and connections, that's how I learned how to network right now. So most of the people I'm doing business with today, I've actually waited on them a long time ago. So
for me, when I went to school for business management, and now I run 2 businesses, but from when I got out of college, it was a good lifestyle, but all the classes I took, none of that helped me for what I'm doing now.
And then you went to also junior college, and you went to a 4-year university.
Yeah.
So I went to a junior college, and he went to 4-year university. So he got to experience, because some people say junior college have more hands-on type of.
It's a lot easier.
It's a lot easier. So, so he got to do both routes. Now let me ask you this: so you right now, besides the Parker Properties, that NDT thing that you, the class that you went through, how is that important to you? How, like, to your career and what you're doing right now?
So I went to like a little, I guess it's I don't know what to call it. What you would call it?
A technical college?
Not really. It's just
I
went to somebody that just hold classes like on the weekends and during the week. So I went to that. I think it was like paid like $2,300, and that was worth way more than going to a university for 4 years. So I went to that. It was only 8 days long total, and then I got a job after that, making some decent money.
And that's what's crazy is he makes, and we're not gonna say the number, but he makes more money than people coming out of college that's struggling, And and we're not knocking college. Listen to what I'm saying.
Yeah, not at all.
I'm not knocking college, but what I want to, kind of start to change the mindset and the concept.
College isn't the only way.
It's not the only way, and we've been conditioned in the mind to go to school thinking that that's the only way you can be successful.
Parents.
Yeah, let's talk about that. So why did you go to college? Let me ask you that. We jumping back around.
To play football. But honestly, in high school, I never wanted to go to college.
Yeah.
I never wanted to go to college. I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I used to have dreams about being an entrepreneur when I was younger, so that was always on my mind.
And so that was crazy, but the thing about it is,
parents pushing too.
We did not know how to get there, so we felt like, you had to go to college first, then start your life.
Right. And that's all we heard in high school. That's what the teachers say the same thing. Raise your hand, who's going to college?
And everybody raised their hand, and so like you feel like a loser. You feel like a loser. Right. And so the concept of entrepreneurship is somebody that don't have a real job or somebody that don't have a serious career. It's not talked
about enough, and it should be talked about way more.
And I think that we're 400% plus in small businesses in the U.S. from the last year. So that shows to tell you that in 2008, 17 to 18, that we 400%. That's 4 times of what we were before. So understanding that we are on an all-time high on starting businesses and being entrepreneurs. And so I remember the counselor told me, she was like, hey, you can go to Southern, or you can go to LSUE, or you can go to LSUA, and a couple of things. Because I had a high ACT score, but my grade point average was bad. And the reason why it was really average, it was bad because I really didn't go to class, to be honest with you. I was smart, but I didn't go to class. So anyway, she was like, man, this is what you need to do. You're a smart person. You need to major in this and you need to major in that, based off of what she thought that was best for me. And so I was like, you know, y'all gonna laugh, but I was in computer information and technology because I can still to this day take a computer apart. I can reprogram it. I have a bunch of towers to the house. So based off of that, she thought that's what I needed, and I'm like, I'm a talker. Like, why am I sitting in
not using your skills?
Yeah, and so
natural skills.
My natural skills, and so, you know, that, you know, it's crazy. So I remember my parents was like, you gotta find something to
college.
do. Yeah, you know, like you gotta do it. And I mean, that's just understanding because your parents want the best for you. And so what we trying to do is help educate and understand that that's not always what's best. You know, it's not what's always best. And so, you know, that's what we came to talk about. Also, let me ask you this. So when you were in college, how hard was it for you to actually get into entrepreneurship then? Because you were, you know, you was in college.
Well, really, I wasn't really thinking about it while I was in college. I was thinking, it was in my head, but, you know, I wasn't thinking about it like all the time like I am now because I was trying to, you know, focus on school or, you know, going to parties.
Yeah.
You know?
You thinking about girls, you thinking about all that. You know.
So life was different in college. Like I said, college experience is crazy, it's wild. So.
And you're thinking about, you know, like I remember me, I was thinking about just surviving at a point in time.
Right.
Like, I mean, because I mean, you stayed home with your parents.
Right.
But I had an apartment. And so it was like,
you had to work to.
Yeah, I was like, I couldn't think about taking a leap of faith because I was scared. You know, I'm like, man, I got a car, I got an apartment, you know, I got to pay, you know, this and that. And so, and then, I mean.
But that's something else we should talk about, taking a risk and leap of faith. A lot of people scared to take a risk, but taking a risk that's what you got to do to get where you need to be.
I mean, I can tell you about my risk. I left. I was working at the funeral home. I knew I was coming to the insurance world. Like, it was no doubt. It wasn't stopping me from doing that. So I took it. I was at the restaurant, but I was working so much at the restaurant. I was like, well, let me get a job where it's easier for me to study. So I would go to the funeral home and I would study while I was at the funeral home. Had my flashcards, so because you can't really study while you're working at, you know, at a restaurant. So I'm studying and I'm like, okay, cool. And I mean, I quit cold turkey. Like, when I mean cold turkey, I didn't know if I was gonna make any money selling insurance independently. I didn't know if I was gonna I would be able to sustain. I had, you know, a family. I have a kid, and so I was like, I'm like, how can I survive? And I was just like, you know, and one thing I was like, man, her name is Sparkle. She was actually leaving to go to another city because she's a tech and a pharmacy tech, and so she was going to another city, and she was like, let's leap. And so I remember, so she was always telling me, let's leap, and I never understood, like, okay, just leap. And so I just jumped. I mean, I jumped in, I dove in. And I mean, we almost 2 years later, and I'm like, I'm still hanging in there. I'm still pushing. I'm actually about to be, you know, in a whole nother level than I was there before. So being that, you know, it was so difficult to jump, but it was so difficult to jump because I had college bogging me down in time, and I just think, no offense to, you know, any of my past endeavors, whether it was the funeral home or the restaurant, but I think that if I would have skip all that, and I mean, I got the qualities, the characteristics, and the skill sets. If I'd have skipped earlier, I would have passed all that up. I think I would be. I ain't trying to sound crazy or nothing, but I think I'd be close to, you know, closer to my goal with making $1 million before 30 than right now. I'm 20. I'm gonna be 25, and so I think I'd be extremely close right now. So that's jumping.
You want to learn.
Yeah. Well, I mean, certain things was, you know, I was learning, but I think that a lot of it was already developed at a point in time. So, I mean, you can't be in a restaurant 3 years and keep learning how to, you know. So, I mean, after.
So you happy that you went, but you should have left sooner.
I should have left sooner. And that's another topic. Staying somewhere too long can be detrimental to your success.
Right. You get comfortable.
And get comfortable, complacent. Matter of fact, my cousin Chaz, shout out to Chaz, he told me this morning, he was like, you know, one thing he know about me is like, I don't settle. You know, like and that's one thing I can say about Parker, like, we're never satisfied. And I mean, if you're gonna be an entrepreneur or a business owner or anything, I mean, whether you're going to school, I mean, you gotta stay hungry. You know,
it's better to stay uncomfortable too, because it make you work a lot harder.
Yeah, that is true. You know,
I was in an uncomfortable position a couple months ago.
Yeah, and exactly.
Still.
And so see, okay, so that's real. You see, so, you know, like you're saying, you was in a comfortable position. I mean, people don't understand that we go through uncomfortable positions even
That's
as
your
business
biggest
owner.
breakthroughs though.
Yeah.
Once you get through.
We're talking about people that just jumped and leaped, and also that didn't have college degrees. I want to say Apple owner. What's his name? Can't forget his name.
I know what you're talking about. His own.
No college degree.
Majority.
Walt Disney. Walt Disney's a billionaire. I know Walt Disney might be a trillionaire now, huh? Or close.
The only one trillionaire is Apple.
Huh? Oh yeah, Apple went trail. So Walt Disney's a billionaire and he has no college degree. Most people really, and I'm not, I hope y'all don't really think that we knocking college, but I'm trying to say is that
It's not for everybody.
It's not for everybody.